I'm Alicia, Powe, reporting with the Gateway Pundit, and we're here with An0maly. And An0maly, I've seen your videos throughout my news feed with thousands and thousands and thousands of views over the past year, or I think towards the end of the 2016 presidential election.
Some people might not like this, but I have to keep it real with you. I registered Democrat. I've never registered Republican. I've never voted Republican. I intended to join the Democratic Party last year. I wanted to be a Democrat. But what the heck is going on? What in the world are the Democrats doing? I love equality. I love activism. I love social justice. I love the environment. But there's nothing liberal about the modern day Democratic Party or the modern day liberal media.
Why did you start making these videos and speaking out?
I just got tired of the media basically lying about everything and manipulating the election. I saw how deceptive they were and how much control they had and how much they were fighting against independent voices and, quite frankly, the truth. So started putting out my own and had a couple 100 million views or so over the last year or two.
And before the election, you consider yourself a leftist?
I would say, because I've been a hip hop artist for a while, and I was always diving pretty deep as far as like, I wasn't a normal like Democrat or a liberal, but I would say if you would have asked me which party was worse, I would have said Republican Party. I thought the whole system was a setup, but I definitely tended to lean left and kind of get sucked into leftist, talking points and maybe activist groups and stuff like that. So I wasn't like a full-blown political Democrat, but I definitely leaned left like almost on everything.
What exactly happened that gave you this eureka moment where you started to question things? I think a lot of people accept inherited beliefs and don't really question politics or religion. And so what enticed you to start waking up, I guess?
Yeah, I've been questioning everything since a young age. I questioned religion, I questioned school, I questioned politics. But I thought maybe Bernie Sanders was like the revolutionary. I thought he could be like the guy breaking the system and keeping it real. And then when he didn't do that, when he flopped and kind of showed his true colors, after Trump got elected, I started just watching what he was doing. And then I kind of figured out, because I always knew the system was kind of a setup, but I was like, oh my goodness, Trump is like, I thought he was just like an insider, like billionaire, just another same old, same old. And then I kind of had the moment, actions speak louder than words. And once he started really operating, I was like, oh, this guy is the real deal. And his money allows him to not be part of them. So I figured out he wasn't really just the same old.
How have you been perceived, or how has your family received your new message? Or do people say you're brainwashed now?
My immediate family, they're not that political, so I don't think they're kind of like neutral on it. I don't think they're like super pumped, but I don't think they're like super mad or anything. They're just like, oh, there goes, our son being crazy again. But as far as like some friends think it's weird, and definitely some close people, but to be honest, my really good friends and stuff get it, and that's all that matters. So I kind of tune out the negative vibes. I haven't got too many, but I don't know, maybe people just don't confront me.
You have this new song out called I Like Trump.
Hundreds of millions of people feel this way. They're just not going to tell you. I will. Yeah. I like Trump. I don't really give a fuck. All y'all suck. I'm too real to play it safe. You fake in front. I'm the plug. Y'all just follow like some sheep. Do what they want. I don't jump. I'm just saying how I feel like Donald Trump. I like Trump. I like Trump.
What inspired you to write this song? I don't think we really ever hear hip hop music with this kind of message. And if you do, I mean, look at how they treated Kanye West. The Hollywood and the music industry don't seem to like this kind of message very much.
Absolutely. Well, I was a hip hop artist originally, and that the political stuff started doing well, and I wasn't really thinking about music. But my friends are very successful producers. My one friend, his name is John, Kinfolk John from the Beat Brigade. He's the DJ tour, engineer and everything for Lil Xan. And my other friend's in a big heavy metal group, and we've always made music. And I took a break, and they sent me a beat. And I was like, we got to make a track. I had the beat, and I was just like listening to it. And I guess I've been watching too much Trump videos, or, too much politics. So I was like, I like Trump. And that was on my mind. So I just rolled with it. And I kind of broke down in the song, like, why do rappers always complain about taxes? You know, oh, why is the government taking my money? Why is Bush taking my money? Why is Obama? Why is Trump taking my money? But then they don't even realize that Republicans take less of your taxes and Democrats take more. And then Bernie will take even more. So, I kind of pointed out the hypocrisy of the rap game. They're just like socially engineered to think that way. But it's like you complain about taxes and then you go vote for the people who steal your money. Oh, why did they take $1 million from me? Well, because you keep voting in Democrats and not like Trump's or Rand Paul's.
Well, they also think that Trump's a racist, and anybody that is conservative leaning is a racist. I mean, that's the allegation that's waved against anybody that's identifies as a conservative in this country. How do you think that can change? Do you think that the GOP is responsible for that?
I think they do bear some responsibility. I do think people are socially engineered a little bit too soft. And I think when you want to be in that lane, in that mental lane, you think you're fighting for the right cause. So they don't think they're doing harm. They think they're standing up for like minorities and like the Black community, but they don't understand if you're not strong and you're not critical with your thinking, you can be easily deceived. And conservatives can be deceived too by someone like a Bush, maybe like, go to war, we love America. That's how you deceive a conservative, and you deceive a liberal or a rapper with like social issues. So I do think it can change, and I do think it's partially Republicans' fault because they don't know how to talk to the rap community. Kanye does a good job, obviously. Someone like Candace, I don't know that she talks to the rap community, but just her being herself, I think, reaches out to some people. And there's a way that conservatives and Republicans have historically, I think, been very, very stubborn socially, media-wise. And I'm not saying, they're per se wrong about everything, but there's a way you talk to certain people and the way you don't. Even if your message might be right, your approach is horrible. And I do think, to be honest, I think Republicans and conservatives have a horrible approach when it comes to maybe the rap community. Not all, but a large enough amount for me to say that.
The rap community or the Black community? Or both?
I would say both. Most rappers would tell you that the rap community is Black music and Black culture. So I think they intertwine. But I think they're very similar in many ways. It's the same kind of mindset, but both of them, to be honest. And, you got to treat someone with respect, even if you don't agree with them, I think, to get them to listen. And I think a lot of times their approach, it's even off-putting to me. Like, I might agree with their politics, but like some of the ways that people talk to me sometimes, I'm just like, you would not be very fun at a party, and you'd not be, that's just not the way to talk to me.
Why does it seem like our youth is so for Bernie Sanders? Why are young people in this country in particular so galvanized towards socialism? And they even think that socialism has something to do with socializing.
Yeah, I think, no, I feel you. I think it has a lot to do with the left has, institutionally, educationally, media-wise, music-wise, film-wise. I mean, you turn on the television, anything but Fox News, any award show, it's all extreme leftism. So I think it has to do with upbringing. I also heard a quote. I mean, I don't know this 100% true, but I think it has a lot of value. If you grow up conservative, you don't have a heart. When you're older, if you're not conservative, you don't have a brain. So I think younger, you're a little more maybe naive, a little more emotional. You're not as rational when it comes to like taxes and finances and economy and the world. So I think it's a combo of all those things, the youth being a little inexperienced, but also there's a mass effort to reach out to them. And to be honest, like even rap music, like people will say, An0maly, why did you curse in that rap song? Why did you do that? And I'll explain, like, this song is not for you. If you don't like it, it's not for you. But like, you hate on me. You're mad at me for doing that, but then your kids are going to listen to this music and they're telling them to pop pills and vote Democrat. That's why, because you gotta reach out on the angles that they're doing it. And I think the left has done a really good job brainwashing the youth and taking over the media and taking over academia.
The walk away movement, you and Candace Owens, that's when I first started seeing really the beginnings of a walk away movement. You think that it's going to prevail? There'll be a massive, like people will start abandoning the Democrat Party?
I think it already happened. I think it's already happening. I know I made a video why I like Bernie Sanders and now why I like Trump. That happened and, got like 10, 20 million views. And then the next month, Candace's video, was, I won't say similar, but it was about Charlottesville and it had a very good message. then I shared it, helped it blow up. And then, you know, Brandon made the walk away. And I spoke to Brandon. It was because, you know, he's seen videos like mine and a few others that inspired him. So me, and there's many people before me that have helped me as well. But, you know, I make that video. Candace makes her video. I help it go. Brandon makes his videos. That's just 3 people. And millions of people have woken up through those 3 movements. So that's just a, you know, inspiration of what you can do yourself and, you know, how you can help it. But it's already happening, and, you know, we'll see in November. But I think there's millions of people who've walked away, lots of different angles going on, and I don't know that they're ever going to go back. So I think we'll find out in November how real it is.
I guess people becoming more independent thinking, more of independent thinkers.
I think the Matrix is showing itself. For a while, it was all under wraps. People, the Illuminati, we don't know who's who. Now it's just like Trump has kind of just smashed the whole system, and all the roaches started scattering, for lack of a better term. You know, so it's like, oh, you're working with you work for that company. Before it was like, they're doing that. Now it's like Trump has a very keen, you know, sense of like, somehow getting people to show their true colors. I think like the mirror, he kind of showed the mirror to society, and people outed themselves. So it's kind of cool.
So far, the people who have played your song around, they're like, I want to see President Trump playing that on the campaign trail, and, you know, as we go into 2020. How amazing would that be?
Hundreds of millions of people feel this way. They're just not gonna tell you. I will. I like Trump. I don't really give a fuck. All y'all suck. I'm too real to play it safe. You fake in front. I'm the plug. Y'all just follow like some sheep. Do what they want. I don't jump. I'm just saying how I feel like Donald Trump. I like Trump. I like Trump. I don't really give a fuck. All y'all suck.
That would be
It would be pretty epic.
I might have to make an edited version because I don't know if he'd like the curses. But to be honest, he's got kind of a dirty mouth, so he might not even care. I know Don Trump Jr., hopefully he'll be blasting it to the side. So, you know, I'm going to make an edited version for the kids. But Trump, I mean, he calls people dogs, he curses. Maybe he'll just say, I like Trump. I don't really give a bleep. Maybe he'll like that.
Don't you think if hip-hop community would have embraced more of the conservative message, or rhyme more about what you're rhyming about in that song, it would really make a difference? If they'd stop being such leftists, people like Jay-Z and even, you know, Nas or Jedi mind tricks, or wouldn't society really change if hip-hop were changed?
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Jedi mind tricks, because actually, you know, although I don't agree with them maybe politically or socially now, that was an awakening moment for me, because even though I don't agree politically with them now, they were talking about things no one else was talking about. They were talking about wars, and they kind of opened my eyes at it. So I'm very grateful for them. Our views might not line up now. They push the boundary and they push the thought. Like, there's some pretty thought-provoking lyrics even to this day from Vinnie Paz of Jedi Mind Tricks. So that stuff's great, and I think everyone needs to play their part. I think people will listen definitely through music and get thinking. But also, I think conservatives and Republicans, as well as liberals, I mean, they're doing a terrible job of it now, reaching out to the other side. Like, look how they're treating conservatives. I mean, it's disgraceful. But to get through to somebody, like, it's not that hard. I have conversations in my personal life with someone who might be very far left and very into, you know, Black Lives Matter type activism, where there's a way to communicate with them and explain your point. And I think a lot of conservatives and Republicans are just too headstrong. It's fake, blah, 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 the cops, you know. It's very off-putting. Even to me, even when I agree with them, the approach is just awful. So I think you have to show love for someone, even if you don't agree with them. You have to try to find a common ground. I'll give you an example. There's this communist guy who follows me on Twitter, and he's like, I'm a communist. And I instead of yelling at him, I was like, you know what? I have a challenge for you. Why don't you invent a business or start a company that actually does something productive, and I'll help you. Let's clean the air in Los Angeles. And he's like, oh, are you serious? I was like, yeah. So it's like, I could hate on him because obviously I don't agree with communism, and I don't want it, and I won't let it really come to America. That would be terrible. But, you know, there's still a bond to be made, and you change people when you like show love to them first, understand where they're coming from, and then try to explain in a kind manner, rather than just like, you know, no offense to Tommy Lauren, but the Tommy Lauren and Coulter fire breathing style, they're great, they're amazing, they're intelligent. I'm not taking anything away from them. But for a large portion of these people that don't agree with us, it really doesn't, it runs them in the other direction. Just like how liberals now, their disgusting behavior and everything that they do, it's made millions of people run to the right, because even like, you know, a lot of gay people are like, wow, you guys are crazy. Like, I don't even, you know, whereas that was Republicans 5 years ago. So it's like, man, you gotta speak to people in a normal manner, I think, to get them to listen.
The GOP saying that it's basically not being welcoming to certain demographics. I think that's true about Trump, President Trump.
I like Trump personally. Don't know that anyone else could do what he's doing. So I'm the type of person, I don't fight reality. I don't fight people. If I want to change something, I'll be the change. So Trump is great. He's taking on so much power and winning. It's incredible. I don't want to change a thing about him. But a lot of people say to me, you know, do you think he should speak this way? Or like, the people that don't believe him, it's not that they don't want to believe his truths. It's just the way he speaks doesn't speak to them. He's not, he's very headstrong, which works to win, but it doesn't convince people on the other side. Like, I'll give you an example. Say with like Colin Kaepernick or like when he's kneeling, I get Trump wants people to stand. I don't even disagree in most extents, but you're never going to get that side, which is a lot of people. By saying like that, you might want to just change the approach. And like I said, I don't want to change him, but like, hey, like, I hear what you're saying. I agree with you on some extent. I think these things are happening, but here, let's work together in this way. He's reached out, but I think that's the way to really get through to people. So it's not that the GOP and Trump, it's not that they're not doing it. It's just, you know, there's a certain approach that doesn't speak to people, and 90+% maybe of the GOP don't. You know, and it's not that they're saying or doing anything particularly wrong. It's just, that's just the way it is. But a lot of younger Republicans and newer, they're, I think, totally changing the game. There's so much diversity on the right now that you have a little bit of everything, which is good. So maybe that's not Trump's role. You know, I don't hate on him, because I think it would take someone of his personality to accomplish what he's accomplishing.
You also pointed out in a video I saw posted a few days ago how the Democrats are actually the party, the more racist party. Well, all along they're claiming the GOP is racist, but they have the history and the legacy of being racist.
I've always heard that the party switched at some point, maybe in the mid-1900s. I did a little more research and I found out that the KKK was actually invented to try to stop the Republican Party. It was literally created to intimidate and fight black Republicans and white Republicans who supported the black Republicans. We were always told that the parties just magically switched at some point. That all of a sudden the Republican Party became very racist and the left-wing party became the social justice advocates. Based on my research, it doesn't look like it happened in the mid-1900s like they said. Also, when it comes to racism in the modern day, of course you have bad people on both sides, but I don't see the systemic racism on the right as much as I see the systemic racism on the left.
And people would say, well, the two parties switched. What does that have to do with now? But what do you think about that? I mean, have the two parties switched as far as where your studying is taking you?
From Abe Lincoln to the KKK, the Democrats are racist. The KKK was created to stop Republicans and black Republicans from thriving. So it was made to intimidate Republicans who supported black people. You know, through the 60s, the Democrats are racist. They say the party switched magically. I just don't see it. The stats don't show it. And if you really look at how they act now, it's really, really racist, because they don't actually care about content of character. They don't care about ideology. They thrive off of race. All they see is race. They have racism. I watched clips from the Emmys, and I felt sick to my stomach. I felt terrible for Tracy Morgan. Like, he's standing on stage, Tracy Morgan, very funny guy, multimillionaire, accomplished actor and comedian. I mean, the guy, he's a great guy. The liberals next to him, the white liberals, like, oh, we're so diverse. It's like how racist, you're like, oh, like, I'm next to the black guy. Like, look at me standing with the diverse guy. And I feel like Tracy Morgan's probably like, these guys are so racist. Like, all they care about is race. They're so fake. And it's like, they don't look at you like an individual, like an accomplished journalist. It's like, you're a black woman and we need to help you because we're the supreme white liberal. I find that their ideology is a white supremacist ideology mixed with the totalitarian fascist ideology where if they don't get their way, they'll make up rape allegations, they'll scream racism, but they're the ones at a party, they have a few drinks, all of a sudden their true feelings come out and you're just like, oh, what? Like, you know, I just feel like all their publications, they just reek of racism, and they have like the projection mentality. It's like project onto everyone else, like you're a racism.
Did you not see it like that 2 years ago when you were more inclined to vote Democrat?
No, I didn't. Growing up too, I mean,
it all kind of became eye-opening in the last, because when you speak, it seems like you know this, you've been listening to this for a long time, you've been understanding this or seeing things this way for a long time.
No, I did my senior thesis on, you know, the criminal justice system and how Black and Latino people were disproportionately jailed for the same crimes. And I was always like a very racial advocate, and I still consider myself one. But I think it took a very dramatic turn where it was like kind of like a scheme, and then it just bubbled up, and now it's so obvious. But I didn't always see it that way, and I thought organizations like Black Lives Matter, I thought they were really revolutionary, and I thought old white Republicans were out of touch, and you know what I'm saying, were really racist and terrible, and things that people were saying older. But then I realized even like the welfare system, when they used to critique the welfare system, I would be like, oh, they're racist, they just don't want to help Black people. But now I realized, I was like, oh, the whole system, not only does it steal money from Black and Latino families that actually have jobs and work, so it steals from like successful Black and Latino or hardworking Black and Latino, and it keeps people poor, it incentivizes them for poverty. So I didn't always understand this, but the deeper you dive into it, you're like, oh, they were right. Like that is a faulty system to keep people poor, created by Democrats, or at least enforced heavily by them.
So how has your life changed now that you have this different paradigm of the world?
I mean, my life's been good. I've tried to keep, like, even in general, spiritually and stuff, like be self-accountable, self-aware, and focus within and be grateful. It's changed my life for a few years, and just like the whole world is changed. I mean, Trump won. We have a non-puppet politician in office. Like, I've been very successful over the last year or two, you know, in my personal and I guess career. So it's been amazing. I mean, it's great to see all this happening. I think a lot of people are waking up, and you know, I think it was inevitable at a certain point once I started paying taxes more and paying health insurance. You know, I think one way or another I would have eventually figured out Republican was the way to go, because I'm not a big fan of the federal government taking like 50% of my money. It's not fun.
Who just are very fixed in their ideas, but their lives might be so much better if they were to maybe listen to the other side, or consider what the other side has to say, the conservative viewpoint. What do you have to say to them that you think would maybe resonate?
Just everything I've been doing. Really, consider is a good word. I always say just consider what I'm saying. And I think different approaches attract different types of people. Like, you know, I said Tomi Lahren before, so I want to compliment her now because I do think she's very bright. You know, she attracts a certain type of crowd. Like Ben Shapiro, a lot of liberals like Ben Shapiro because he's kind of wishy-washy and throws Trump under the bus all the time. Personally, I like him, but I'm not a huge fan when he throws Trump under the bus. But Democrats then listen to him and be like, oh, this guy's kind of real. And then he could seep in some conservative stuff. And then there's like, you know, myself, who's like very maybe more soft-spoken and more chill and peaceful, where like a lot of left people, like, you know, I've woken millions of people up. I did you know, why I left Bernie Sanders, and that even spurred bigger movements, and even a lot of top, you know, conservative celebrities I pretty much helped put on the map. So it's like everyone has like a moment, but everyone's got to do their own thing. Steven Crowder with comedy, you know, it's like Ben Shapiro with being kind of wishy-washy Trump supporter. Although it might annoy some people, it really does. Like, everyone's got their own thing. So same with the left, instead of hating so much, be the change you want to see in the world, create. There's so much space out there. There's so much room to thrive. And everybody, like Kanye woke up a crowd that Steven Crowder and myself could never wake up, and Ben Shapiro. Everyone's just got to do their own thing. And one can change a million people, and vice versa. So everyone's got a role. Everyone's got a position. People got to, I think, on the right as well as the left, is like, don't spend so much energy hating on everyone else. Spend as much energy as you can building yourself, and then you can, you know, do what maybe we do and take it to the next level, is like, you know, apply your energy to something that'll be actually productive.
What are your plans going forward? What do you see yourself in 5 years with this news analysis and hip hop?
Oh man, I hopefully on an island, retired, not really retired, but I would like to not have to struggle. I'm starting a media company. I don't have this like power hungry agenda. I just want to be free and have a sauna and like stretch a lot. So hopefully successful. I have a new song coming out in a month with a platinum rock group called Trapped. They did a song called Headstrong, and we made a new song. So I have new music coming out. What's that?
What's your media company? What are you doing with media that you're gonna start?
I have it's a website, worldcloudnetwork.com. So I'm just starting a news like website and taking it from there. And also on Facebook, World Cloud, if you've ever seen it. That's my page, like that. Basically, that blew up Candace Owens. That's how she got big. That's how the Walk Away movement blew up. I basically like facilitated all those things. So I just get a lot of views on there. So then we're gonna just turn it into a website and maybe more eventually, you know. But for now, just website. But try to take everything to the next level. World peace, hopefully. American not being destroyed. That would all be nice.
Where can we follow you and follow your work, find your music?
I guess the easiest thing to spell and remember would be on Instagram. It's Dream Rare. So at DREAMRARE, all one word, Dream Rare on Instagram. My name's An0maly. It's hard to spell. An0maly. So the O's is 0. An0maly. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, but Instagram, Dream Rare. Music on Spotify. If you spell An0maly right, it's on Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, everywhere. I'm going to creep up on Facebook, even if you don't want someone, your mom or maybe your friend will share it and you'll be like, oh, shoot, I can't get rid of this guy. So I'm creeping everywhere.
Congrats. And it's good because you need more young people, the coveted voter block to be more diverse of opinion and thought.
Absolutely. I think it starts with us. You can't be mad at the problem. Got to create the solution. So more comedy, more music, more reaching out in a way that's not so repelling to a mind that thinks opposite of you. And that goes for both sides. The liberals ruined everything. They lost all their power because they didn't figure that out. And Republicans will do the same if they don't figure it out. But I do, on a positive note, I think Republicans and conservatives have evolved so much in the last 2 years. It's been really incredible. So I think there's so much good energy there. And that's my role, try to keep everyone in check.
Media control the mind and censor everything that ever goes against them. Yeah, why they pin you as a victim? Yeah, so you always stay dependent.